everybody! Outdoor season is winding down, and that means that cooking season is spinning up. And I'm not quite ready to get back to sausage baking. However, I do now have a freezer full of venison, so we'll get started on that real soon. But today, with the holidays coming up, I thought I'd do a little experimental twist on the sous vide cheesecake recipe that I posted a little while back. I'm getting into that festive feel with these little pumpkin pie cheesecakes that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Even though pumpkin pie is one of my favorite pies, I don't really make it very often. And when I do, I usually do it the very old-fashioned and laborious way of starting with a fresh pumpkin, then cooking it, squeezing out all the water, and going from there. But today, ain't nobody got time for that. So, I'm gonna make the easiest pumpkin pie filling recipe I could find. And these are all the ingredients. Starts with one 15-ounce can of pumpkin. And then we've got one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Not the evaporated milk that I would normally use, but the sweetened, really thick stuff. And that takes care of your milk and your sugar all in one go, so I kind of like that. We got 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. The easiest way to do this would just to have some pre-made pumpkin pie spice and get a teaspoon of that in there, but I don't have any pumpkin pie spice, but I do have all the spices to make my own, and it's easy to do, so let's go ahead and put together our own pumpkin pie spice. And it starts with cinnamon, and I want 2 tablespoons ground cinnamon. Now, a couple of teaspoons of ground ginger. One and 2. Gonna go in there with a teaspoon of ground clove. Or all the ground clove you have on hand. And yes, you can adjust these ingredients to your own taste, of course. And a teaspoon of ground allspice, which is also all that I have. Finally, nutmeg, and I'm gonna go with fresh ground nutmeg. And when you keep it in these little nuggets here, it stays good on the shelf pretty much forever until you go ahead and grind it. Oh, just a half a teaspoon of that. Should be plenty there. Whoa. I just whisk that together really well. And now I've got pumpkin spice for all my pumpkin spice needs. The recipe didn't call for any salt, but I always put just a little pinch of salt into the sweets just to help enhance the sweetness. And that is it. We pretty much just put all these ingredients together and mix it till it's smooth. Couldn't get much easier than that. And if this comes out well, that genuinely was the easiest pumpkin pie filling I've ever mixed up. This is my easy sous vide cheesecake batter. And I've pre-cooked some graham cracker crusts in the jars here. And I'm not gonna do that recipe right now because I've already done it. So if you wanna know how to make that, you're gonna have to check out the recipe on the channel. Saves me some trouble today, and it might get me a few more views. So I'm gonna start with the cheesecake batter. It looks to be a lot more thick than the pumpkin batter, and I'd like to get some layers going here. I'm not sure what's gonna happen once they heat up. They're probably just gonna kind of mix together, but it would be really cool if I could get them to layer, so I'm at least gonna give it a shot. So I'll start with the cheesecake batter, and the ratio of cheesecake to pumpkin pie, totally up to you. I think I'll probably go about 2/3 on the cheesecake to 1/3 on the pumpkin pie, but I'm not gonna be very meticulous about measuring that out. And now, I want to be very gentle with the pie filling. Make sure those are all tamped down nice. So I'm gonna try the old back of the spoon technique, just so it doesn't run down and mix too much. You can pour it over the back of the spoon and let it slowly run down on top of there. At least to get it started. Once it's coated, well, it's not the cleanest looking layer, but we'll see how it goes. I hope I didn't overfill those. These two are going to be pretty close, but I'm not going high temp or anything. I don't think they're going to puff up a whole lot. Let's see, in these others, I'll just put the pumpkin pie filling in. So I've got a whole lot of extra. Now let's get our lids. Make sure there's nothing on these rims. They look clean. These rings on there, snug them up. And now I'm going to be very gentle moving these around because I don't want to mess up the layer. And we're going to get these down into the sous vide water bath. My target for the water bath today is 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's right about 82 C. And I'm going to very gently lower these down into here. Just trying my best to get a layered effect. I think I could have gone a little easier on the cheesecake and heavier on the pumpkin, but like I said earlier, that is up to you. And this is mainly an experiment today. Now, cover that up so the water doesn't all evaporate. And that's gonna be 2 hours at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, that 2-hour cook is done. Let's take a look. Ooh, looks pretty good. Don't really want to tip it up right now, but it looks like there is some layering going on. Oh, let's take a quick look. Looks like we got some layering here. That's pretty cool. But I think I would like to change the ratio just a little bit. These also might have puffed up enough that they touch the lids and I might peel off the very top of them when I take that off. That'll be okay. We'll cover it up with whipped cream. So now I'm gonna let these cool down, and then we'll put them in the fridge, and I'll just let those go overnight until they're all chilled out, and then we'll try them. In the meantime, I might just whip up another batch just to play around with the amount of pumpkin pie and cheesecake that I use here. These are all chilled out now, and they look very cool, especially the second batch where I adjusted the amount of cheesecake and pumpkin pie filling. You see they got really defined layering. Now, let's take a look inside. Looks like there's just a little bit of moisture on top of there. You can pour that right off. Because of the way these are cooked, there's obviously not going to be any kind of caramelization on top, but you're going to put a bunch of whipped cream or some other kind of topping on there anyway, so that is not going to make any difference at all. And these little jars are great for piling on the toppings. I'm going to be doing some whipped cream, but I'm thinking some caramel sauce would probably be fantastic on these. And I would normally serve these right out of the jar. They look good. You can put the toppings in there, and you don't have to dirty another dish. But for the purpose of the video and to get a good look at this, I'm going to try and pop this out of there. And to do that, I'm just going to put it in a little bit of warm tap water just up to the top of that crust there to loosen it up just a little bit. And I'll leave that in there for just a couple of minutes, and that should be enough time to soften the kind of butter on the outside of the base and let that thing come loose. It's been a couple of minutes, and I should be able to go around the edge with a thin knife. Now I can actually see it swiveling around in there, so I know it's loose. I'm a little worried that the delicate pumpkin part is not going to support the weight, but let's just try to move quickly. Got to do a double flip on this. Whoop. Oh, hey, not too shabby. I could definitely doctor that up and make it look good, but I'm only doing this for the video, like I said. These jars work great for serving dishes. Oh yeah, pretty cool. I hit the top of that with a little whipped cream and some of that homemade pea spice. Let's see if I can cut a little piece out of there to get a good look at this. Well, you can see the layering looks real good. Everything seems to have set up very well. Of course, what really matters is the taste. Check out that bite. Wow. Ooh, that is something. Yeah. That is full on delicious. Everything's set up, the layering worked out. That is 100% a success. I love that. The two textures go really well together, as well as the two flavors. That's a stunning dessert. You know, the cool thing about this is you whip those out. It looks like you made something really fancy, but it was actually incredibly simple to make. I'm gonna be whipping these out for the holidays for sure. And the jars, they sealed up pretty good. This is not preserved at all, but I guarantee you that is gonna last for a week or better if you keep it in the refrigerator. Quite honestly, probably 2 weeks. That's great make ahead type stuff for all your holiday meals, or just anytime you wanna whip out a good dessert. Thanks for watching.